Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Walker Ford in sunny Clearwater, Florida, surrounded by Mustangs in the Mustang Corral. And guess what? We have something that's definitely not a Mustang. This is a 2017 Chevrolet Camaro SS 1LE. But before we get into this car, I want to talk a little bit about, is the Camaro SS 1LE, is that the platform that you want for an awesome corner carving muscle car? But now that we've kind of talked about what the question is, let's dive into a little history. So the Chevrolet Camaro was the answer to the Ford Mustang. Ford Mustang was first, 1964 and a half. Chevrolet Camaro was first on the streets in 1967. So many great variations, the SS, SS 396, Copa Camaros, ZL1s. This one being an SS, what does SS stand for? Does it stand for like super street, super smart? No, it actually stands for super sport. This being a super sport Camaro, the SS, automatically you know it's going to have that 6.2 liter V8 that was available in 2017 and is still available today if you were to go and buy a brand new Camaro right off a dealership lot. Now, the real answer to corner carving is the 1LE package. I always get a lot of questions about what is a 1LE. Now, you could have an SS 1LE, but you could actually now apply 1LE trim option performance package to any Camaro that you buy brand new, whether it's the 4-cylinder turbo, V6, naturally aspirated V8, or of course the supercharged V8 in the ZL1 Camaro. What you're gonna get is you're gonna get extra handling and braking performance that is gonna separate your normal Camaro SS from the rest of the pack. Now, the whole purpose of this 1LE package, it goes back to the 1980s. There's a racing organization called the SCCA, Sports Car Club of America. And what you're able to do is, as amateurs, they even have their professional level, is run different types of cars in a class called showroom stock. So in the 1980s, it was the Fox Body Mustangs, Chevrolet Camaros, and of course the Pontiac Firebird and Pontiac Trans Ams. Now, the whole purpose of the class, showroom stock, is to race what you could buy at a dealership. Well, Chevrolet wanted to help out the Camaro teams. What they did was they offered a 1LE package, which would increase radiator cooling, braking, handling, all that performance that really added up to faster lap times. And the great news is that even though it's not the 1980s anymore, that 1LE package is still available. And as we go over this car, I'm gonna point out some of those specific additions. Now, this one, being a 2017, is obviously pre-owned. There's been some extra changes that the owner has previously done that makes this car so unique and stand out from the rest of the crowd. And if you're wondering, well, what car did this owner buy from Walker Ford? It was that iconic silver GT350R that had a little piece of my heart. So let's go ahead, dive into this 2017 Chevy Camaro SS 1LE and see, really, is it the best handling of the muscle cars. Right off the bat, you'll notice that different front fascia. The previous owner decided to change out the front fascia. This is a ZL1 1LE front fascia. So what you're gonna get with that is the massive diplane. This is called a diplane. It's also called a canard. This is gonna help give us extra downforce for carving those corners. You're also gonna get a larger front splitter. Now, the front splitter, of course, goes across the whole front fascia. That's gonna give us downforce, stop air from going underneath the car, and force air into the many different radiators and whatnot. You can see the massive, large openings for cooling, all fully functional. You have LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps, and I'll be honest with you, I like the 2017 styling a little bit more than the 2020, especially when we get to the tail end of the business. Now, as we come across that massive front open area, it almost looks like it's gonna eat you up and spit you out and then do a burnout on you. So aggressive, so mean. It almost made me wanna get a ZL1 1LE over a GT350. So just to let you know how I feel about the styling, but you can see that massive front splitter going across the whole width of this Camaro. What's nice is that he didn't put any kind of flow tie or bow tie. Everything open, really cleans up the look. We go up onto the hood. Now, as we go up onto the hood, this is a SS hood, but what the 1LE package gives you, it's wrapped in a satin matte finish. So you have functional heat extractors. These are the heat extractors from a Chevy Camaro SS in 2017. 1LE is gonna have it wrapped in that beautiful flat black satin color. Really helps separate it from the metallic gray. Now, here's where we get down and dirty with the 1LE. So this is a 20-inch forged aluminum wheel. So forged is stronger and lighter than cast aluminum. That's gonna give you quicker steering, less rotating mass. You're gonna get massive two-piece rotors. So if you like pizzas, you're gonna like these rotors because they're bigger than the pizza that you ate last night from Domino's or from Pizza Hut. Two-piece rotor is gonna help us cut down on the heat, and they're fully ventilated. And then check out those bright red beauties there. It's about the size of Michael Jordan's Nikes that he used to run as a Chicago Bull player. 6-piston Brembo calipers. I love the way it's got the 1LE badge. The Brembo badge there really pops nice with that flat black. Now, with this wheel setup, this is, like I said, a 20-inch wheel, 285 on the width up front. But you'll see as we get to the back, that's gonna change, and that's a 30 series sidewall. Track specific Goodyears on this particular 1LE SS. You're gonna have your beautiful red, white, and blue Camaro badge, such an iconic badge. The previous owner went ahead and added the ZL1 1LE side sill extension. Helps complete the whole package. Very, very nice, classic lines. Of course, the Camaro, it looks great on the outside because of how low the roof line is, but when you're inside, it does get a little bit of a cave feeling, but styling-wise, looks amazing. I love the flared out look. We get and check out this back area. Like I was telling you, this is still a 20-inch wheel, but now we're talking about 305. So 305 on the width, that's gonna help us get the power to the ground, and you still have a 4-piston Brembo caliper. Remember, the reason why we have larger calipers on the front is because under braking, all the weight transfers to the front end. So that's why we have larger calipers. You don't need an 8-piston caliper on the rear. It's really gonna just add extra weight to the car. But if you've ever wondered that, that's why it is the way it is. We get to the rear. This is a 1LE specific flat black trunk lid spoiler. I like the way it runs the whole length of the back of the vehicle. Nice kick up. You got your blacked out bow tie. The previous owner, now you don't get a 1LE badge. There's nothing to really brag about with the 1LE, but the previous owner took off the SS badge and put this 1LE badge. I actually like it. It's tasteful. My only zonk is I wish they would have stuck it right here on the trunk. I think it would have just cleaned up this back area. With the 1LE, you are gonna have the active exhaust that comes with the package, and the previous owner put this massive street arrow rear diffuser. Really gives it a nice aggressive look from one end of the vehicle to the back. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering this SS 1LE. All right guys, we got the hood popped on this Camaro. You do have those functional heat extractors. You also have hood struts to help hold that hood open. Underneath that hood is gonna be that great V8 power. So we're talking about 6.2 liters of V8 goodness, naturally aspirated, 455 horsepower, 455 pound-feet of torque. The one thing to remember about this engine, it is a push rod engine. So we're not using overhead cams. Peak horsepower comes in at 6,000 RPM. Peak torque comes in at 4,000 RPM. This 1LE weighs around 3,700 pounds, 0 to 60. If you could shift it, it will happen in around 4 seconds. MPGs, if you're wondering, really you shouldn't wonder with this type of car, but if you're wondering, 16 in the city, 25 in the highway. The good news for me is that it only comes in a 6-speed manual transmission with a short throw shifter. So you gotta know how to work those 3 pedals if you want an SS 1LE. The other goodies, like I mentioned to you, you're getting those 20-inch forged aluminum wheels. It has the magnetic ride control system, which has been set up for the track, an electronic limited slip diff. You also have the Brembo brakes, the head-up display, and of course, like I said, that satin black hood and the satin black rear trunk lid spoiler. I am gonna zonk the engine cover. I feel like on these Camaros, it just doesn't look right. It looks like a Lego piece or something that's been plopped down. Show off the intake plenums. Being a person that got their driver's license early 1990s, I want to see intake plenums, and I think the intake plenum on this thing would look sexy instead of this plastic cover. But enough about looks. One thing I want to point out, I don't know if Tom was able to show, modifications on the hood, they went very modest. They went with long tube headers. It's got a catless X pipe and no mufflers. So when we go to do the sound clip, I'm going to warn you now, you're going to want to lower the volume because it's going to blow out your eardrums. But hey, it's a pleasant way to have your eardrums be blown out. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and fire up this V8 and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2017 Chevy Camaro SS 1LE. I hope you got your hearing back. I hope you can hear me okay. I know a lot of you are wondering, well, Joe, how much is this thing? Well, brand new in 2017, the MSRP was right at $45,000. The 1LE package is a $6,500 option, but the good news is you actually get some stuff on the inside, not only stuff on the outside and braking and handling wise. So let's see what you do actually get. Now, to the door panels, there is some nice soft leather style material on the armrest, the contrast stitching. You do have that flat silver that breaks up a lot of the dark material. And you do have a nice soft armrest pad at the top there. Other than that, the door panel is very hard plastic. You get to the dash, same story. Knock, knock, who's there? It's hard plastic. I do like the silver trim around the AC vents. I do like this nice contrast stitching and this leatherette type material. Here's your glove box. We'll open that up. You can put your race gloves in there, get it all sealed up. This is gonna be that 8-inch infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You do have navigation. This one does also have the performance data recorder system. This is a really cool system where you can record laps at your favorite track and whatnot and be able to play them back. Your start stop button here, single climate control, no dual climate control on this particular SS 1LE. But what I do like is how you're able to adjust the blower fan speed by switching around the trim ring or your temperature, which right now I'm leaving it on cold because it's kind of hot. This is where the magic happens. You know how at home your parents might have that room, they say knock before you come in? This is where you want to knock before you start rowing. Nice short throws, very mechanical feel, good engagement. On the SS 1LE, you do have Alcantara wrap shift knob, Alcantara shift boot. I like the way it has the SS badge here. This is your mode selector button. You got your different modes, sport, track, snow, ice. I don't know who wants to drive this in ice, but okay. You have your 12 volt here, which I'm gonna zonk this. I wish that they would put it somewhere up here so that if you're running your radar detector, which you're gonna want in this thing, it wouldn't have the cord all over the place. 2 cup holders, very simple, very hard plastic. I do like the nice leather material and the contrast stitching. You open this up and you might be able to fit 2 Twinkies in there. I would probably go 1 because if you go 2 and you close this, you're gonna squirt cream everywhere and nobody's gonna wanna cream up this interior. At least not that way. Seats with the 1LE, you're getting Recaros. These are Recaros with the Alcantara center, nice leather with the contrast stitching, and I like the way they use some light gray. So you have the darker leather, the light gray, Alcantara. Is the bolstering high? Yes. Is it gonna squeeze you like a vice grip? No. Plenty of headroom because when you do your track day, you're gonna wanna put your helmet on. We have a nice frameless auto dimming mirror. I'm not getting into the back seat. This is all about muscle car performance. I would say rip the back seat out just to save weight because it's kind of pointless back there. But overall, great environment, even though you are sitting a little bit in a cave, but we're only focused about going forward. Speaking of focus, get on over here. I'll show you the business end behind the wheel of this Camaro. All right, guys, this is where you're gonna be doing the business. You do have your electric seat controls on the side, easy to get to. You can see the bolstering. Remember, I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of headroom in here. Steering wheel, Alcantara wrap. That's the 1LE package. Alcantara wrap steering wheel, flat bottom, 50th anniversary. Do the math. 50 plus 67 is 2017. 1967, that is, obviously. Nice wrap steering wheel. Now this also has automatic rev match downshifting. So what that means is you don't have to have twinkle toes when you're downshifting and blip your throttle yourself. The car will do it for you. Now you can shut it off very easily by hitting one of these paddles. So if you're wondering why are there automatic shift paddles on the back of the steering wheel, it's actually to turn off and on that rev match downshifting. To be honest with you, I'm gonna leave it off because you could heel toe so easy in this thing, it's ridiculous. Dash, I love this setup. You're gonna have an analog tach, analog speedometer, that nice large digital display in the center with your gauges across the top there. You have your digital speedometer. Here's the different modes that we could go into: Tour, Sport, Track, Snow and Ice. The only zonk is that this is all hard plastic. And even though you have a head-up display, which is great, it's got the tach there, so you're not gonna have to look anywhere else, even though you should just be looking with your ears. It's interesting how much higher the gauge pod is up. I wish they would have that a little bit lower, especially because the height of the windshield, I feel more cramped in this Camaro than I do in a Corvette, believe it or not. But we're gonna go ahead, let's show you the trunk, see how you could load it up for your next track day. All right guys, time to check out what kind of room we have in the trunk of a Camaro SS. This is where the zonk happens. Major zonk on the opening area of the trunk. Now, once you're able to squeeze something past the opening, there is a bit of room and you can fold down the rear seat, which is nice. But other than that, this is a very small trunk, smaller than a Mustang, definitely smaller than a Challenger. But enough with the actual trunk space. Let's go ahead. If you're ready, I'm definitely ready. Let's take this Camaro SS 1LE for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the 2017 Camaro SS 1LE. We're leaving Walker Ford. Remember, if you're going 1LE, it only comes in a 6-speed manual, but on throttle, here we go. That sound of that V8 just creates an environment where you know that you're in something extra special. The throws on that shifter, like I told you, when you go the 1LE route, short throws on the shifter, really smooth, good clutch modulation. Steering, right now I have it in sport mode, so you can go into track. You go into track, obviously you're gonna have less of those nannies to keep you wrangled in. I'm gonna leave it in sport mode since we're on the street, but definitely has a nice weight to the steering wheel. And what's weird about these Camaros is that, yes, if you look out the back window, you can't see much. It's like a mailbox slot. If you look out the sides, it's not too bad, but looking out front, you actually can see everything that you need to hit your marks, get to your apex, trail out everything, which is weird because just sitting still in the parking lot, you feel like you're in a cave. So that is the zonk still, that when it comes to visibility, the Mustang and obviously the Challenger have a lot more room just for you to be able to see out of and not so many blind spots. But I think when you're going the muscle car route, you're willing to compromise and give up certain things. But pulling away from the light, there we go. First gear, second gear, nice sound, into third. And obviously with those long tube headers, with the X-pipe and without the mufflers, you're getting a sound sensation in here that's like no other. You're definitely gonna wake up, piss off your neighbors real easy in this car for sure. You got that wonderful rev match downshifting feature. You could turn it on or off very easily with the paddles on the back of the steering wheel. All right, guys, one of the great things about this car is that magnetic ride suspension. The good news is that it's going to give you the perfect amount of compression and rebound depending on what you're trying to do. So as we pull on this highway, it's actually going to help smooth out a lot of the bumps. Surprisingly, you think that this thing would be a kidney crusher and really rock you around and be a hard, harsh ride. It isn't. And it's all because of that magnetic ride suspension. Now, remember, if you do go Camaro ZL1 1LE, that does not have magnetic ride suspension. That's a totally different suspension on that vehicle. But this one, the previous owner gave us the front end look of a ZL1 1LE, and the extra aero plus opening up the sound, uncorking that sound, it's like Christmas every single day when you're driving this, if you like that classic pushrod V8 sound. You do have a gear indicator in your head-up display, and the full tach is great, and of course your speed, but we'll worry about that later. All right, guys, here we go. Let's see how she handles. Second gear on the brakes, those Brembos clamping down on those rotors, 6-piston calipers, nice turn in, super smooth, super smooth. On throttle. Great sound, and I'm telling you, the way that the shifter just goes from one gate to the next, very, very mechanical, super short throws, and it feels so connected. You feel so connected to what this car is doing. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can get another nice bend here into this left-hander. Downshift into third, into second, feeling good, on the brakes, turning in. Look at this, this is great. This is the grip, a little bit of slip from the back. You gotta be gingerly with that throttle. On throttle, here we go. Yeah! Nice, that's what I'm talking about. Now, this car being pre-owned does have about 37,000 miles on it, and those rear 305s have seen some better days. So I was getting a little slip from the rear, just trying to be careful, being on the street, and obviously not my car. So just keeping the balance good. But the brakes feel amazing, and turning, when you turn it in, I mean, look at this. The feedback is awesome. Rolling on throttle, being smooth, coming on throttle, here we go. Nice, into third. Fourth. The car feels so planted. You can feel that extra aero doing its business, keeping you planted, very solid, so that you can focus on hitting your marks. That's the great thing about this car. Let's go one more time into this left-hand bend. On the brakes, feeling good, downshifting nice, turning, rolling on throttle just a little bit, nice and smooth and gingerly. Roll, 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 here we go. Yeah, nice. That's what driving a muscle car version 2.0 is all about. You're getting everything. You're getting that raw feel, you're getting that suspension wizardry with the magnetic ride. You're getting all the technology. You want to put more traction control down, you want to shut less, you do whatever you want from behind the wheel of this car, and that's what makes it so amazing. It puts the biggest smile on your face. One more time, one more time. Second gear, loving it, loving it. Look at this, look at this. This is ridiculous. Here we go. On your on-ramp, winding out. Third gear, fourth gear. This is wonderful. This car is a ton of fun, and whoever is the lucky owner of this one, the next go around is really going to be able to enjoy it, and maybe they want to take it to another level. But definitely a Camaro SS 1LE is a great foundation to build not only a corner carver, but also a car that also can haul the mail fast in a straight line. But I'm sure Walker Ford is probably wondering where I'm at. We're gonna wrap this one up and get back there, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one of those days where you're just like, heck yes, I know how to drive a manual, and I love performance cars. This Camaro SS 1LE has some extra touches on it, which separates it from the rest of the pack. And with that 1LE option, you're gonna have a muscle car that could carve corners just like that turkey on Thanksgiving Day. But I definitely gotta thank Frank Walker, Weston Walker, Tracy, Benji, Mark, Austin. Everybody here is so accommodating at Walker Ford. If it's cars like these you want to keep seeing on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Radies Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Muscles Tom Motioner McGee. He loves these muscle cars. He loves rowing through the gears, just like he loves rowing those dumbbell presses. So thank you, Tom, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.